I want to be sure that I use that platform to be sure that I share my faith, not just my team. Our team success has been great, and I want to promote our program. I want to promote Freed-Hardeman University, but more importantly, I hope that I can say the right things that help people draw closer to God.
Hey Lions fans, welcome into another edition of the Coaches Show. We're here with National Championship Coach, Coach Drew Stutts from our men's basketball program. Coach, thanks for taking some time. I know it gets kind of busy after you win, but thanks for doing this for us today.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like I told you before we got on there, winning comes with a lot of responsibility afterwards, but I'll gladly accept it. So.
Okay. We haven't talked even since before the tournament started, so take us through maybe the 2 home games, what you remember of that, how you guys played, how that maybe propels you to the next game.
Yeah, boy, it seems like a long time ago. Didn't think we got the best draw in the tournament, to be honest with you. We were the overall number 1 seed and wound up playing a really good, in my opinion, really good 16 seed in Gov State. They had won, I think, maybe 25 games or so in the season. But played fairly well in that game. Did what we needed to do, took care of business there. Then we played a really good Bethel, Kansas team here at home. One of the best defensive teams in the country. They play a very unique style in that they press the entire time.
A little bit like us.
Yeah, and you got 24 hours, like us, but us on steroids when it comes to pressing. I think they were either 1 or top 5 in the nation in how often they press.
Number of times possessions
per
game.
I mean, they quadrupled how often we press. And so you got 24 hours to turn around and prep for a team that plays in a really good league, and coach does a really good job. I thought we as a team played well. If there was a game that Phil Horton had, it was that game. That was incredible by him, the individual performance that he had. But we as a team handled their press and what they did really well. I thought we did not highlight what they did well. We kind of negated it by handling their pressure well. And, awesome environment, awesome experience for these guys to play their last game at home, to win. We had an unbelievable crowd, administration, staff, so many people, yourself and others, had such a hand in making that national tournament first and second round experience awesome. It doesn't happen by accident. There's got to be a lot of people really on board and intentional about creating the environment that you want to create and giving these guys, whether it was from Freed or the visiting schools, the experience they deserve for being in the national tournament. And I thought this year, I think this is our 5th year in a row to host. This year was the best tournament that we've put on yet. And so credit to Coach Estes and all the people that he got on board to help us run a really good tournament. And then when you win, it's a little sweeter. So for us and the girls both, that was just an amazing experience. And, everybody assumed because we had the success that we had this year that, we would win. But it doesn't happen that way. You got to go out there and you've got to earn it. And at the beginning of the year, I told Grant, I was like, man, if we could get back to Kansas City this year, that'd be a huge accomplishment. I mean, if we could make it back and be in the final 16 teams, that'd be huge. And so even in that game, I was saying the same thing, man, if we could just win this game and get back to Kansas City, that'd be a big accomplishment. And so great first and second round. I don't know if we're going to get further than that at some point. But opening round here was awesome.
We got a little more time today. We'll let you go a little longer. So that first game in Kansas City, then the round of 16, was maybe the game of the tournament, right? You guys had that really big comeback. And so I know from the fans' perspective, right, like what we were feeling where we're watching the game, and it's just like, man, I know defense is Coach Stutts' thing, and we're number 1 in the country in defense. But, man, it'd be nice to have somebody that could just score no matter how good the other team was on defense. Absolutely. And so what's the coach's mindset when that game's going on, especially the first half when those 2 guys were really hot?
Yeah, well, without getting too deep into the game plan with all the details, I mean, they're a really well-rounded team. We were number one defense in the nation. They were number one offense in the nation. And so they look good for a reason because that's what they do really well. And the point guard and the forward for them both average 28 a game. Both those guys are going to move on and play at a super high level next year. But the pieces they had around them were so complimentary. Like video game numbers as you were evaluating the game plan.
Everybody shot 40%.
Everybody, all their biggest players are shooting 45+% from three. And if you look at their assist numbers as far as field goals made, they were like 65% of their made shots were off assists. So the first half, the game plan going into that game was like, we can't let all the others get involved. Let's just make the best two players beat us. And we knew they were going to score. We knew that at times they were going to look really good. But even at halftime, I thought there were a few things in the first half that maybe we didn't follow through the game plan as well, individually scouting those two individuals. But we really were taking the other people away, and the assist numbers were way down. And I thought or hoped that as the game wore on, we would wear those two guys down. And if we could continue to take the others away and make those two guys beat us by themselves, we'd have a chance. And that's what happened. We did not shoot the ball well that game. I think we finished like 6 of 30 from three. That's not a good time to do that. And credit to them. They made us hit shots. They really packed it in, and our shooters were getting the shots that we wanted them to be taking. They just weren't falling. But we stuck with the game plan. When we got down 16, 17, whatever it was, I knew it'd be a really big challenge for us to grind our way back into the game. But I also knew their best two players were going to play 40 minutes, and we had 10 players that were going to play 20 or 25. And you kind of saw down the stretch, those last 7-8 minutes of the game, it wore on them, and they started turning the ball over. We started playing with a little bit more freeness and momentum. And that was one of the things, again, we got a little more time, but that was one of the things going into this tournament. You think about us being in Kansas City a lot. We have been as a program, but 8 of these 10 guys that were on the floor had never played in that gym before. Yeah. And so even though Freed as a program, we had been there and we had done it, this team hadn't. And so when you walk into that gym, it's different. It's not like playing at Freed or Bethel or Georgetown. It's a huge gym. You got to temper your nerves a little bit and kind of get used to being in that environment. And so that's probably some of the reason we didn't shoot the ball well that game. But I thought we wore on those guys. We held them both to below their average, and we kept the others out of the game. I don't know this for a fact, but I think we held them to their season low. It would be very close, if not. Yeah,
there was 22 points below their average scoring, and they averaged 94 a game.
So I thought we did a good job overall and gave ourselves a chance to win, even in the game where we didn't play well. And then Jamarcus Powell with a block there at the end of the game. Kind of had flashbacks of the Masters 3 years ago. They were a really good team. I can't remember if we won that game by 1 or 2, but it was down to the last play. Guy goes up, Geraldo Lane, verticality, blocks a shot. We advance. And we'll get more into this, but that's how you have to win a national championship. Some things have to go your way. You got to grind it out. You got to give yourself the best opportunity that you can. But one made shot, one missed shot, one blown whistle versus a no call, and that's the difference in history. And so I'm glad we're on this side of it, not the other side.
So then I know we do have a time constraint here, so let's skip ahead a little bit. How awesome was it in the Final Four? I know you don't usually get a chance like this in the national tournament, but somebody like Aiden gets in the game at the end and scores 5 points.
Yeah.
How much fun was that for you and the team?
That was awesome. The team success is fun, but when you get an opportunity to be on that type of stage and a guy like Aiden Farber to step in there with a minute or two and to come in and hit back-to-back shots, a big three in the corner, that's so rewarding. For those of you that don't know, if you're a red shirt, you can't play in postseason play. And so we've got a group of guys that are freshmen that weren't, you could not play them or it would burn their season for them. Okay. So I know certain people would ask, why didn't you play some other guys? If you play those guys, it burns a year of eligibility for them. Okay. We had our 10 rotational guys and Aiden Farber, and that was it. Okay. So we got up big. That was a perfect chance for him to come in and play. But for him to come in and knock those shots down, man, I know that'll be something he'll remember forever, as well as his parents and fans that were there. So very rewarding. You know, we've emphasized many times on here the importance of every member of our program, and it not just being about the guys on the court or the starters. But, I mean, our scout team, I mean, we've beat those guys to death this year. I mean, you can imagine in practice, 5 in, 5 out, and scout team trying to run against our team. Yeah. They've done a outstanding job throughout the tournament, throughout the year, helping us always get ready. And that can't be understated, the importance of them, our student assistants, managers. I mean, there's so many people that play a role. But when you get a chance to highlight somebody like Aiden, it's really cool.
What about, I'm backtracking now, Rodney played a really big part in that comeback against Northwestern. Just talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Rodney, true freshman, Caleb Thomas, true freshman, both those guys at different moments in the tournament, and it kind of all runs together for me a little bit at this point. But I know Rodney in that game specifically really played well for us. Maybe had 15 points in that game.
And a lot of it was down the stretch, right?
Yeah.
Being at the free throw line in those last 8 minutes, a big three, couple of layups.
And we talked about that after the championship game. Don't want to jump too far ahead, but how different players on this team at different times stepped up and had huge moments. And it wasn't going to be everybody's moment in the national championship game. It wasn't going to be everybody's moment in that game. But you think about Blake Dean at Cumberland, Tennessee. You think about Rodney in that game. You think about Phil at Bethel. I thought Lane Lauterbach had a great tournament overall.
Rico against
Arizona. I mean, and that's exactly what we want. You know, I mean, that's the way this team is built. It's not to have a superstar, but to have a super team. And when your number's called and it's your opportunity, be ready for it. And DJ McIntyre in the championship game. You can go on and on with different guys. DeMarcus, not a big-time scorer, but had some big buckets at big moments in 2 games, and is one of our best defenders. So it's all about team, and it's all about sacrificing what you want individually and the individual success for the team success. And there's so many life lessons that can be learned in that. I mean, they can't be understated. Like, I mean, as far as just your ability to sacrifice what you want most, because Rodney Henderson could be at any other NAIA school in the nation, and he'd probably average 15 a game and be freshman of the year. But he chose to come here, you know, and because of that, he's a national champion. He sacrificed himself a little bit for team success, and I could say that about other guys on our team. Lane Lauterbach, 20 plus a game last year, comes here and averages 9-10 points. But those guys bought in to the culture, to the team, and that's what it takes. You know, that's what it takes. And couldn't be more proud of each of those guys individually for buying in, and it's very rewarding when it pays off.
So we've bounced around a little bit. Now, what did you learn from the championship game 2 years ago? Not about playing Langston again, but something about the way practice works that week, or the spectacle of the event, or whatever. What did you take from the first time to this time that helped you?
Yeah, I mean, specifically the championship game, I think I just had a lot more calmness about me. Not that once you've won it, you don't want to win it again or anything like that. But I knew going into that game, win, lose, or draw, I was going to be extremely proud of this team. I had a piece about me and the season going into that game where I knew no matter what, I was going to be extremely proud of this group. The first time around was just a whirlwind. You know, I mean, it was just the whole tournament, you know, was just a whirlwind of events. And this time there was just a little more calmness about the entire tournament, especially those last 3 games where, you know, you feel like you're the better team going in, and if you play well, things are going to work themselves out. So I knew our guys probably felt some pressure in that game to want to play really well, and you know, thought I had a calmness about me that hopefully throughout that game and throughout that tournament brought some calm to them at times. They probably would argue that, you know, they may not have thought I was super calm, but especially in the championship game, you know, I could tell they were a little edgy, and wanted to bring a little piece to them of everything's going to be fine. Let's just play our game. So,
and then after the game, I know we talked this before. Some other people have mentioned your post-game comments, and I don't think that it's uncommon for people in that situation, whether it's sports or not, whatever, to thank God. But it seemed a little bit different for you personally in that moment.
Yeah, it was. I haven't went back and listened to what I said yet. When you're in that moment, you're just talking, and hopefully I said the things I needed to say in the right way that I needed to say them. But in general, I feel like being in the situation that I'm in, having won it 2 out of 3 years, there's going to be opportunities to be in front of cameras and to speak to a lot of people. And, I want to be sure that I use that platform to be sure that I share my faith, not just my team. Our team success has been great, and I want to promote our program. I want to promote Freed-Hardeman University, but more importantly, I hope that I can say the right things that help people draw closer to God. This year in particular has had its own challenges for me personally. And through those challenges, I've chose to lean on God more, to kind of be still. I mentioned in an interview yesterday, but Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I'm God, and it's inferring you're not. And I think, especially coaches, a lot of us, we want control.
Yeah.
We want control. We want to control the game, the players, this and that. And that's your job at times. But in life, so many things are out of our control that we want to control. And we think we know what's best so often. And this year, there's been times in my life where I've had to take my hands off the wheel and just say, I trust you. I trust you. And so without getting too deep or too much into that, this year I have grown more as a person and spiritually than I probably ever have. And I think I said this after the game, but even in the moments where I may not have been as faithful to God as I need to be, He has remained faithful to me. And I'm extremely grateful and blessed for that. And if you think there's something special about me, there's not. If you think there's something special about our team, there is, but there's not. This is God at work, and without Him, there's no way that I've attained the success that I have at Freed, or that I'm even at Freed-Hardeman, without His hand at work and Him placing me in the place that He's meant for. So I hope over the next few weeks, when I have opportunities to speak, I can encourage people to put their faith and trust in Him, whatever the situation is, and to build a relationship with Him and know your relationship with God is far greater than anything else. And if you'll put your faith and trust in Him, He's going to direct your paths. But it's human nature for us to want to have control and want to direct our own path. So
yeah, I think everybody wants to control their own life in some way. And it, like you said, it makes it takes a lot of effort to release that control.
It does.
Whether it's your team or it's your kids or your job or situation, whatever, it just takes a lot to let go.
It does. But when you do, there's a lot of peace that comes from it. Because all of us have things going on in all of our lives. That's one of the things I talk to our team about a lot. We all got stuff going on. Everybody's living life right now. And if you can form that relationship with Him and you can lean on Him through the good times and through the bad, you're going to be grateful for it, because He's been faithful and He will remain faithful no matter what. And, winning a national championship is special, but helping lead people toward Christ, obviously supersedes winning a basketball game where you're putting the ball in the hoop, So I hope our players and the people that are part of this program have grown as individuals and hopefully grown their faith through this experience, not just won a national championship.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was awesome. We could sit here and probably talk about all the games all day, but I think we'll leave it there. And, thanks again. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to next year. We can't
Awesome.
wait.
Let's get to work.
All right. Be sure to follow us on all our social media channels. Keep up to date on the website for all that's going on in athletics. And congratulations again to National Championship men's basketball team. Go Lions.